While building a home theater, these are literally 5 questions that I have been asked every single time. And these are not some geeky level questions. These are like everyday, basic, realistic questions which are actually going to determine whether your setup is going to be an immersive setup or it is going to be a disappointing one. So in the next few minutes, I'm actually going to save a lot of money of yours, I'm going to save a lot of time of yours, and I'm actually going to save you from committing mistakes which literally 90% of home theater owners are doing right now. Now the first question that anybody has while buying a home theater is kitna budget rakhna padega? How much should I plan on spending in this particular room or the space? Now the short answer is going to be the room size and your expectations. But you know what? I'm going to help you come to a number. How can we determine this number? Well, first of all, the reason why you're looking for a home theater experience is because you're tired of the TV sound. You want something better. You want a nice envelope of sound covering you. So if you're looking for a TV upgrade in terms of the sound setup, then you should definitely consider anywhere from 2 lakh rupees to 5 lakh rupees, because that's the basic starter package that you will have to invest so that you get a nice immersive experience. Then comes one of the most commonly spent amount of money, which is for a nice projection based home theater system, which means that you're going to have a projector, a screen, and now a sound system as well. So when you're talking about all of these three combined together in the intermediary segment, you should consider anywhere from 5 lakh rupees to 10 to 12 lakh rupees as a decent investment, which can give you a fantastic immersive experience, but at the same time, the visuals are going to be great as well. Then comes the third category, which is for most of the dedicated home cinema owners. Now, if you are planning for a dedicated home cinema setup, you should not consider anything lower than 10, 12. Because if you try to spend anything less than 10 or 12 lakh rupees in that room, you are not really going to enjoy the best sound as well as visual setup. Now, I've also seen many people make these mistakes. They think that spending on the visual but less on the sound makes sense. But you know what? 60% of your home theater experience is all about sound. And sound, you can really differentiate between one speaker to other, or between the number of speakers to the number of subwoofers. But when it comes to a display, most of the 4K displays will look same. Until unless you jump from a lamp to a laser projector, then you will see a marginal difference, but the cost is also marginal. So between the same segments in the visual, it's no point spending a lot of money. Try to concentrate good amount of your budget in the audio aspect as well. I hope this clears your first primary question about the budget required for a home theater. Now that we have got a fair idea on the budget, let us look at the next aspect, which is one of the most commonly asked question again, that what is the right configuration for the room that I have. Now, typically for smaller and compact rooms, we try to tell people that stick to a 5.1 or a 5.1.2 as a standard configuration, which gives you a nice surround sound envelope. And if you go with the 5.1.2, you can definitely have the Atmos standards as well. So this is a bare minimum requirement to have a wonderful surround sound setup in a small or a compact setup. Now, the moment you have a little bigger room size, which is typically medium room size. Now, medium room size can start from anywhere around 300 to 350 square feet. Now, these rooms are a little bigger in sizes and they may have multiple rows of sitting or multiple different locations of sitting. In such cases, you will have to devise a nice strategy. The strategy can be a combination of a configuration channel as well as the right product channel. So for instance, in the configuration, you can look at 5.1.4 or a 7.1.2, and in the device part, you can actually look at stronger subwoofers, bigger speakers, more sensitive speakers, and all of this can come together to give you the best experience. Then comes the larger room setups. Now, these larger room setups can be anywhere from 500 square feet onwards. Now, these rooms require you to spend heavily on the speaker as well as the subwoofer setup. The configuration over here can bare minimum start from 7.2.4, which means you have 3 speakers in the front, 2 side speakers, 2 rear speakers, 4 speakers in the Atmos, and then you have got 2 subwoofers taking care of your thumb. Now, in some setups, we have even gone further. If there are multiple rows, we try to advise for more number of side surround speakers. If your rooms are bigger in length and you want to achieve the next particular standard, you can look at 9.2.4 as well. So the world is then endless. You can build as many as 64 speaker setup in this room. So for larger room size, Try to go with the right strategy of the equipments and as a configuration. The bare minimum, as I said, starts from 7.2.4. Now let's come to the third common question. Now this question is all about acoustics, and this is where most of the people make a lot of mistakes. People feel acoustics is something which will help them cut down the sound from going outside. But that is not acoustics. That is actually called as soundproofing, or it is also referred as isolation of the room. Now, isolation of the room is typically required if you don't want the sound of that room to go out, but that is not acoustics. Acoustics, in its literal language, means improvising the sound performance within the room. And this improvisation of sound can happen when you use absorption, diffusion, as well as bass management or bass traps to take care of the sound within the room. Now, is it mandatory? To some extent, yes. If you do acoustics, it is going to enhance the overall audio performance. So if you feel that your bass is not clear, your vocals are not clear, and if you feel there is too much of echo in the room, then you do have to do some sort of acoustics so that you can eliminate all of these problems. Now, simple acoustics in a living room or a bedroom can be the carpet, can be your sofas, can be your curtains. But when you're doing dedicated cinema rooms, it has to be with a proper wall treatment, the ceiling treatments, the carpets on the floor which are wall to wall. And all of this is important if you want to achieve not just the ambience feel, but even a greater, deeper, immersive experience with the sound system. Now, talking about the soundproofing part of it. Soundproofing means looking around rubber sealants for the door, as basic as that. Now, these rubber sealants can start safeguarding or stop leaking the sound from going out. Similarly, the doors have to be done in a different format. The other areas which can actually leak sound are your windows, are the core conduits that are done for the cabling. Now, all of these small gaps and leakages needs to be safeguarded or needs to be covered properly with the use of rubber as a standard material so that you can isolate the sound. And this is soundproofing. If this is very clear to you, let us now come to the next interesting question number 4. And this question is all about TV versus projector. Now, TV versus projector, for a dedicated cinema room, I would still say please keep your eyes blindly and put the faith in me and go ahead with a projector. But when we are talking about a TV room, a media room, a living room, well, in these cases, the answers can be subjective. If you're looking for a daytime viewing experience with lights on or with curtains open, then definitely a large TV size is the only solution. But if you're looking to enjoy a nice movie experience, if you're looking to enjoy a nice family gathering on a big screen of an India-Pakistan match, then definitely a projector screen is one of the best ways to literally enjoy each of these piece of content. So if your piece of content is going to be less consumed during the daytime, and if you have got a good control over the lighting in the room, then please opt for a projector screen. And for all my dear friends who are opting for projector screens in the living room, we have done some interesting setups where we have TV at the back and you have a projector screen which comes in the front. So you can explore that angle as well so that you get best of both the worlds and you don't have to compromise on the viewing experience. But again, if you're doing a dedicated cinema room, please do not look for TV. Projector screen is the only answer to it. Now let's come to the final question. It's a question which haunts you as well as us at TapAV. Because this question is all about the maintenance behind these equipments. Now, one of the most common question people ask me is, Tanmay, are these systems good enough in the Indian scenario, or do we have to do something more for it? And I always give them one example. If you're buying a premium car and if you skip insurance, what is going to happen? You'll always have the fear that if the car gets a scratch anywhere, if you try to hit something, the damage cost is going to be far more higher. And same rule applies even on the home theater equipments. Your equipments are expensive, but if you don't treat them properly by taking care of the power supply, then you are going to be prone to a higher level of damage and repair cost. For those reasons, you will have to ensure using a surge protector, a voltage stabilization, an online UPS, power conditioner, something or the other, which will ensure that your system is well safeguarded. Apart from this, what you also need to ensure is that you have good earthing line dedicated for your AV equipments. You have got a dedicated power from the main circuit breaker for your entire AV cabinet. If you do all of this, then you know that your system can run for a longer time, and you can actually look at 7 to 10 years as the minimum lifetime for these equipments. Now, if you want to avoid making any of these wiring mistakes, and if you need a foolproof wiring infrastructure plan for your home theater equipments, then don't forget to check the link that is shared in the description as well as in the pinned comment, because we have got a nice wiring infrastructure diagram ready for you, which you can actually send it to your electrician or interior designers and get started with the wiring plan. Now, these 5 questions are one of the most commonly asked 5 questions to us about home theater. And if any of these questions made sense to you, then don't forget to hit the like button. And for more such amazing videos on home theaters, tips and tricks, product reviews and whatnot, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well. Thank you so much for watching. I, Tanmay Mehta, your home cinema consultant or home theater wale bhaiya, will see you again in the next video. Thank you.